Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Henry Tafoya. Welcome to the beautiful city of Las Vegas, New Mexico. Northern New Mexico never looked better, and especially inside the Wilson Complex tonight on the campus of Highlands University. With me tonight is New Mexico's boxing guru, Dan Sisneros. The rising stars, I mean, the whole concept is exploding all over the country. Lenny Frescas has really started something. It started right here, and people are enjoying it. Your feelings on what Lenny has literally created?
Henry, Lenny is right on track. He has 2 world champions of the WBB version, but hey, there's nothing wrong with that. That's a good start. After only 13 pro fights, Frankie Archuleta, world champion, and Andreas Fernandez, also a world champion. But the undercards are spectacular, Henry. We've got good action throughout. The local fighters are climbing up just the way Frankie and Andreas did. We might see more of that tonight. All
right, a chance to go into the limelight, and you're going to be right with them. Stay right there. We'll be back after these messages.
Fight of the night, folks. Take it from the guru.
Tell me when, Ray. Welcome back to Las Vegas. Henry T. along with Dan Sisneros. This promises to be an action-packed fight. Let's go into the ring and join ring announcer Pete Campos.
Testing. Listen! From Albuquerque, New Mexico, with a 3-2 record and 2 knockouts, weighing in at 144 pounds, Jose Ramirez!
Well, that could be the highlight of the night. Pete Campos, the ring announcer, lost his battery juice and decided to do what he does well, just talk loud.
The boy's got a set of lungs, Henry.
Well, there you are, and if you didn't get to hear what he was trying to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, we've got Paul Blea in the red corner and Jose Ramirez from Albuquerque in the blue corner. Both these fighters from Albuquerque, as a matter of fact. And Jose Ramirez will wear red. He is 3-2, 2 knockouts. And Paul Blea, who throws a lot of heavyweight fighting power, is 4-0. He's from Albuquerque, and he's wearing white tonight.
And Henry, this is the boxing guru's pick for the fight of the night. I expect this to be toe-to-toe action all the way. A couple of guys from Albuquerque, both are good, talented fighters. A lot to prove.
Good combination by Blea. Check out the counter punching, and then Blea comes back for a little bit more. And Jose Ramirez will bang with the best of them.
Henry, I was in Cripple Creek, Colorado about a month ago. I saw Paul Blea in action there. Really looked impressive. I was so impressed with what I saw. I'm not sure about his opponent, though, at the time, so that could have a lot to do with it. But he's a really skilled fighter, a great amateur background. And, of course, Jose Ramirez, always in a war, Henry. His only 2 losses were to Rudy Lovato and Marcos Pitbull Rodriguez. A couple of pretty highly skilled fighters themselves, and he lost decisions to those guys. This should be a classic.
Well, Blea knows one direction, forward.
Of course, Paul Blea trained by the legendary Bob Foster, and then Jose Ramirez has a man who's getting a lot of respect in boxing circles here from Albuquerque, and that's Melchor Chavez.
Melchor Chavez fighters know how to fight. They are well trained, and they are very well disciplined. And from the standpoint of being conditioned, Melchor will settle for nothing less than his fighters being ready physically.
And Jose Ramirez is proof of that. Even the fights he lost, just by conditioning, he was right in both of those fights with such little experience in the boxing ring.
There's Paul Blea getting very aggressive here. Body shots, head shots. He has all the tools. Straight right hand, double right hand connection. How about that?
Nice moves by Paul Blea, Henry. You can see him go to the body, kind of dip, kind of come up. He looks really well trained.
He is dangerous. And I'll tell you what, literally, Jose Ramirez is holding on.
I was talking to promoter Lenny Fresquez a little earlier, and he was, telling me, asking me what I thought about this fight. And I agree with Lenny that Paul Blea is going to be dangerous in the early rounds, but Jose Ramirez has a chin of iron, and if he's still hanging around in the later rounds, things could switch to his favor. They could, depending on Paul Blea's conditioning. But right now, Paul Blea does look pretty sharp so far.
Well, he has a confident swagger to him. His body language tells you that he is here for business only.
And of course, Paul Blea came up side by side with two-time world champion Danny Romero, training side by side with him, same amateur tournaments and all. So he's got a big background in amateur boxing.
And he took a page out of Johnny Tapia's repertoire with that double left hook. Well, there you go. Round one is gone. Feeling out one another. Hey, we'll do some more of this right after these messages. Well, welcome back. Henry T. and Dan Sisneros back at the Wilson Complex on the campus of Highlands University in beautiful northern New Mexico, Las Vegas, New Mexico. Good to have you with us on Rising Stars Boxing on Q13.
And Henry, that first round went pretty much according to form, the way I thought it would go. Paul Blea actually using his height disadvantage as an advantage, able to dip and work his way in, go to the body and get out without taking any damage. And Jose Ramirez is going to have to find a way to zero in and try to just, I don't know, try to catch Blea coming in. But we'll see what happens if Blea's stamina kind of runs down a little bit in this fight. So far, it's going pretty much according to plan.
You can see that Jose Ramirez is cautious. He has weapons of his own, but he has felt the power of Paul Blea early on.
And also, I just think the skills, the movements of Paul Blea are maybe giving him a little bit of trouble. Jose's going to take a little time to figure him out. But when he starts to unload, he can bring it.
Ramirez just brought a couple of right hands there. That earns some respect.
He can whack. He's a tough kid. He's a tough kid, a confident kid. World-class kickboxer turned boxer. This is kind of on-the-job training for him.
Look at that. Two quick left hooks by Paul Blea.
And you think about Jose Ramirez, with so few pro fights, already fighting the likes of Marcos Rodriguez, Rudy Lovato, Paul Blea. He's fighting the cream of the New Mexico crop right away in his career with such little boxing experience.
I tell you, these young guys are indebted to Lenny Fresquez for giving them this golden opportunity to fight in front of a big crowd, statewide television, and I hope they realize that. That Lenny Fresquez has put them in the limelight.
I know they appreciate it, Henry. I've talked to Jose several times, and he's very grateful. And I'm sure Paul Blea is glad for this chance, too, to show what he can do on statewide television.
Good to have you with us on Rising Stars Boxing on CBS 13. Henry T. and Dan Sisneros here in Las Vegas, New Mexico. They have come out with hospitality and a lot of fans here tonight. The home of the great Henry Sanchez, a legendary great basketball coach. Now the action has somewhat stopped. Being cautious, part of the strategy. What's going on here?
It's turned into a boxing match here. And you can see Paul Blea staying on the outside. It's kind of a little bit unexpected. He's a shorter fighter, but he's just so well schooled in boxing that he moves his feet real well like a boxer. You can see him with that in and out, side to side. There's a nice right hand by Jose.
Two right hands by Ramirez.
And Blea comes right back with a counter right.
Oh, there's a nice combination by Blea.
These guys are both pretty good bangers, Henry. Somebody could go in this one. They both punch pretty hard.
Well, they look the part. And they will give us more of their boxing attributes when we continue in Las Vegas, New Mexico.
Here we go.
Welcome back to Las Vegas, New Mexico. Henry Tafoya along with Dan Sisneros, and we have more. Paul Blea in white, Jose Ramirez in red. Ramirez weighed in for this fight at what?
I didn't catch the weights on that.
Well, whatever they weigh, they move fluidly. And two athletes in the ring that can do a lot of different things are right now still feeling themselves out to find that big shot that's going to spell victory for them.
These guys are right in the 145 range, Henry, welterweights. And you can see Paul Blea trying to keep this as a boxing match. I don't think he really wants to get into a slugfest with Jose Ramirez.
Another straight shot from Ramirez, the big right hand that scores. Blea likes to counter right back.
And Jose, for being as tall as he is, he really doesn't rely on the jab that much. He's a slugger.
And I like your point that they could go at any time. Somebody's going to fall in this fight.
Oh, these guys bring some heavy leather, Henry. They really do. They can knock people stone cold, but also if they can box or they can slug. They're pretty versatile athletes, both of them.
Both from Albuquerque. And both in the Rising Stars format and concept. And I'm sure they can envision themselves way up the ladder in this real rugged game of boxing.
And Jose Ramirez is a story where he kind of came out of nowhere as a boxer. I mean, he was in the kickboxing game and just kind of came out of nowhere, looked pretty good. And Paul Blea was a guy, as I was saying earlier, came up with Danny Romero in the amateurs, and everybody kind of expected him to turn pro right away. Kind of disappeared from the boxing scene, and I was really glad to see him come back under the tutelage of Bob Foster.
Ramirez with an uppercut that landed. A Melchor Chavez fighter is a disciplined fighter. I mean, he's looking for that opportunity. Doesn't gamble a great deal, but the opportunity's there, they'll take it. Well-schooled boxers come out of his camp.
And the good thing is, Henry, they can rely on their conditioning. They can be patient and know that they're not going to run out of gas. Their opponent might, but they won't. At least they feel that way. He instills that in them. Serves them well.
Look at that, Ramirez scores.
Yes, he does.
He gets a smile from Paul Blea, and usually when you get that smile, it's like, hey, that hurt.
Yeah, no. In boxing, yes means no.
Each has earned respect. As we come down to the finish line, they're going to start throwing some bombs. I have a feeling.
These rounds are close enough that a bomb or two could sway the whole round in the minds of the judges.
They're very fine defensive fighters, and I think that's part of the situation here as the bell sounds. And look like Ramirez was a little bit unorthodox. It may have slipped or...
Henry, that body shot hurt him. He's sucking for air. He got whacked with a body shot, and that really took a toll on him.
Las Vegas, Henry T. and Dan Sisneros, Rising Stars Boxing, and we have quite a fight going on here. Paul Blea, Jose Ramirez. Paul Blea in white, and Jose Ramirez, both from Albuquerque. And Paul Blea is 4-0. Ramirez in red is 3-2.
And Henry, it may not be the slugfest that I predicted, but it certainly is the competitive match that I thought it would be. These two guys are a good matchup here. Hats off again to the matchmaker.
You may have spoken too early.
I didn't say it's over yet, man. These guys are going to heat it up. But Henry, Paul Blea caught Ramirez with a body shot right at the end of that third round, and I don't know, he almost went down to a knee, and he was really in pain between rounds.
And I think Ramirez remembers that body shot. He was making sure he avoided any of that power this time around. He was quick to get out of that clinch.
Yeah, I wonder if Paul Blea is aware of the damage he did. If it seemed like he would go right to that body again.
And you never know. They may suffer an injury that we'll never know about until after the fight.
Especially a guy like Jose Ramirez, who's such a heart warrior. He'll fight to the end.
Look at this, Blea turning it on. And Ramirez with a counter punch or two. And that is very skilled fighting by Ramirez, because most fighters would be in trouble in that situation, but he danced out, nothing to it. A baby could do it.
Yeah, he's learning as he goes along, Henry. On-the-job training, every fight out, a tough fight for this kid. And it'll either break him or make him, and he's really improved a lot. And he's in tough here against Paul Blea. This is an undefeated fighter under the schooling of Bob Foster, former amateur star. I mean, man, boy, Jose has really picked a tough one tonight.
Now the big crowd in Las Vegas thoroughly enjoying this. And I think they have respect for these fighters and their strategy, and what they've done early on to show them that these guys are legit fighters with a future.
Paul Blea is doing a nice job of mixing his punches. He's going downstairs a little bit, coming back with a headshot now and then. you know, he's mixing it up pretty good.
Outstanding production by New West Productions. The visuals are outstanding. And you talk about teamwork, New West spells it with a special definition. I mean, they are total quality.
New West is everywhere, Henry, and they really should specialize in boxing because they do a great job, but they're everywhere.
Straight right hand by Ramirez. Right, dancing around. He has picked up the foot action now. A moving target. And if Blea is going to hit him, he's going to have to go get him.
Look at him dig to the body, though, Paul Blea.
It's almost like they're tempted to go toe-to-toe.
It's just that discipline holding him back.
Good defensive fighter. Here's a right hand by Blea and a left hand. And Ramirez returns the favor, but off the gloves. Here comes Ramirez. There you go. Two talented fighters getting it on. This will be very close. Stay there. We have more coming your way after these messages. Good look at this young man from Albuquerque, Jose Ramirez, and Paul Blea in white, Ramirez in red. Well, this is going to be a fight that go a long way to being a catalyst for their future. And this is definite competition, the competition they were looking for. They raised the level against one another here tonight.
These guys have to know the reputation of their opponent, and I'm surprised that their management would take this fight, showing confidence that they can win.
Now to the boxing purist, this is fun. To the guy that likes to have a bang-out war, may not be so much fun yet.
Henry, this is a beautiful thing to the eyes of the boxing guru. I love a good boxing match. See a lot of good technique in here, and every now and then a bomb. It's right up my alley right here.
Right hand that gets over the glove, and it stuns Ramirez, and he's hurt. Fighting back, however. Now the slugfest that you were hoping for about to happen.
Yeah, Blea can bring some damaging shots, but I've seen Jose in this position before, and he survived it in the past.
Look at the shots from Paul Blea. Blea bleeding from the nose. Comes with a big left hand, and Blea's got blood over his left eye as well. It may be from the nose, however.
Boy, Blea leaped in with that left hook like a big cat, man, scoring on Jose Ramirez. But Jose's been there before, Henry, with big bombers, and he's been able to survive.
Well, it is blood from the nose, so no worry about any eye damage here. I'll tell you what, Blea is sneaky quick.
He is. He leaps in with that left hook out of nowhere. There it is again.
Good defensive fighter as well.
Yeah, that Joe Frazier school of boxing with that leaping left. Jose's going to have to watch that.
Straight right hand sneaks in by Ramirez.
Good, quick straight right hand by Ramirez.
You can hear Malcor Chavez in the background saying the nose is broken. Go get some.
It's bleeding pretty good, it might be, but Paul Blea fighting through it.
And if your nose is broken, you're going to have a little, maybe sometimes double vision.
Yeah, exactly. Your eyes water, and you really can't see. I don't think his nose is broken. It's definitely being damaged. There's a nice right hand by Blea.
And if you have double vision, hit both targets.
But you only get 1 point.
Uppercut by Ramirez.
Here comes Ramirez.
These guys are going to take it to the wire, and obviously that last shot there hurt Blea. Blea's nose is giving him a lot of trouble right now.
It is. I think he's surprised too that he had Ramirez so hurt. Most guys are gone, but Jose Ramirez all heart.
Right hand, and the blood gushes out, and the bell rings. We'll be back for more of this, and the condition of Paul Blea will come your way shortly. Stay right there. Stay right there.
I just don't know. It's a good match. boxing match. He's gotten better skill-wise.
Yeah.
But he's always had the heart.
They're working on his nose. Something's wrong with Blea.
Oh, definitely.
Something's wrong with Blea. I swear.
Yeah, he might be broken. That's well, every time you touch that broken nose, man.
Yeah.
See, they're pinching off the bridge, trying to stop the bleeding. He's saying he's all right. Yeah, he just said, I'm all right. But they always say that, Henry. His nose could be lying on the canvas. He'd be saying, I'm all right.
Welcome back to Las Vegas. Henry T. and Dan Sisneros. More boxing. Paul Blea, they worked on his nose, and he appears to be okay. Blea in white and Ramirez in red.
Well, Henry, he's saying he's all right, but they were sure working on that nose there. Jose Ramirez has a real battering ram kind of punch, and he's pretty damaging.
Well, the crowd really impressed with these two young men here tonight. Early in their careers, showing us a lot of skill.
Oh, the fans are seeing some good boxing here, and you can see they're really into it. And they're kind of choosing up sides here and rooting for their favorite.
And you're on the edge of your seat wondering who is going to be the winner. And is it going to be dramatic? Because you know they have the drama within them and the power to do some heavy, immediate damage.
This bout's scheduled for 8 rounds. I got it close so far, just by a hair either way.
Look at the shots by Ramirez. And Blea comes right back off the ropes. The jab has helped Ramirez considerably here.
Yeah, he ought to keep it going. Just keep that jab out there. I see a look of concern on the face of Paul Blea. He's used to being in total control of his opponents, and he's really not in control of this one.
Well, when your nose hurts, everything hurts.
Yeah, he's got to be a little bit of concern there. That unbeaten record on the line, you know, he wants to keep that unbeaten streak going.
And it's one of those things you can't hit what you can't see. Ramirez is still trying to get through there, but the fine defensive work by Blea is frustrating to him.
Jose Ramirez just complaining about a headbutt right there. He just launches bombs, though. I mean, he doesn't necessarily set him up with a jab. He'll just let him fly, and he hits hard.
Well, early signs, this is late stages, but signs of fatigue, I don't know. They are so well conditioned. But Blea has backed off just a little bit here. Keeps spitting out that blood.
Well, it's a learning experience for Paul Blea to fight through an injury like this against such a dangerous opponent. And both of these guys, as I always say, are walking through a minefield. I say it again. Either guy could go at any time here.
Well, Ramirez now boxing very effectively, trying to get Blea in a vulnerable position here, but Blea comes off the ropes and continues to fight defensively.
Every once in a while, Ramirez will wind up with that uppercut, and that's dangerous to the nose of Paul Blea.
The early aggressive nature of Blea is not there any longer. Well, we will have more. It's going to be an exciting finish. Don't miss it. We'll be right back. Jose Ramirez, who have introduced a new art to the state of New Mexico, pure boxing.
2 rounds to go, Henry. I have this one dead even on my scorecard. It's down to a 6-minute fight here, in my eyes.
And I really like what I see here. And win, lose, or draw, these young men have a future in this game.
It's a shame, as we said before, the old cliche, one of them has to lose, unless it's a draw, but that's the way it is. These guys have given a good showing.
Well, Blea is still trying to throw a punch or two, and there's a shot to the head of Ramirez with the left hand.
But Ramirez was busy, and then Blea landed the one shot. That's tough on the judges. You can see Ramirez now trying to get that jab going.
Back him up. There you go. Go.
Henry, if Paul Blea does have a broken nose or damage to that nose, he's done a good job of fighting through it.
Well, he is an act of courage. There's no question. Good straight left hand. However, he's lost a little bit off his aggressiveness, and that may sway the judges somehow.
Well, if nothing else, just getting into these later rounds, he's into his 7th round. I don't know that he's been that far yet.
Ramirez continues to move forward and throw punches. Blea still looking for the big opportunity.
And actually, Henry, Paul Blea has not gone more than 4 rounds in his career, so this is all uncharted territory.
Well, apparently there's a low blow. Ramirez is complaining to the referee, Tony Rosales, whether Tony saw it or not. Apparently he will bring him to center ring. Now he's going to actually do what? Take that point.
Get away. Oh, this is a close fight too. That could loom very heavy.
There you go. You wanted a catalyst. You wanted some sort of statement. There it is, right there, made by the referee.
And now maybe if you're Paul Blea, that point deduction puts a little desperation in your fighting now in the final rounds.
Well, it did, and it brings out the aggressiveness. And I'm sure his corner is telling him, now you're behind. Get it on. And Blea trying to score with a left hand there. Remarkable defensive work by both of these fighters.
And Paul Blea got off to the faster start, but now it's really Jose Ramirez territory. He's been in the 7th and 8th round before. Paul Blea has not.
And as close a fighter as it has been, Ramirez, from our vantage point, at least mine, he's in the driver's seat. Now he can be a little cautious and be careful and take it to the end, because on most scorecards it was close enough. Now he is the leader. Blea's got to know that.
And, you know, that extra point, I mean, if Jose Ramirez wins a 10-9 round here, Henry, that makes it a 10-8 round, a knockdown score. But then again, how far ahead was Paul Blea before that, if he was ahead?
Blea just ducked from a big right hand. Very impressive. These guys know how to get out of trouble. All right, we will have more. The mystery. Who is going to win this fight? Come back after these messages. Well, this is the final round. Jose Ramirez and Paul Blea. Blea's corner had to tell him, Dan, that he's going to have to get it on now because he is behind.
That last round really helps Jose Ramirez, and I think you should see some busy hands from Paul Blea and Jose Ramirez as well. He can't take it for granted.
Well, Blea's undefeated record in jeopardy now. Now they're going to bang for it. Look at the shot that Ramirez just took. Here comes Blea. Blea is turning it on. Ramirez is in trouble. And a big right hand over the glove. Blea knows it. He feels it. His only chance is to knock out Ramirez. And he's going to go for it all here in the final round.
Bob Foster has let the dog off the leash, Henry. Said sick him. He sends Blea out here to do some damage. So Jose Ramirez is going to just have to stand and fight.
Blea's trunks are covered with blood. Determined now to go get his opponent. He has got to knock him out. You think that's your mentality in a situation like this if you're in the ring.
Dramatic conclusion to this one, Henry, and neither side can feel very comfortable about where they are in the scorecards. That big blazing start by Paul Blea here in the final round is going to help him, though, unless Jose can get some offense going here. Prevent defense never works in football, and it sure doesn't work in boxing, Henry. You don't want to go into that shell. You've got to keep fighting back and scoring.
Outstanding analogy from the boxing guru, Dan Sisneros. And that is exactly what Ramirez is doing at this moment. Just trying to stay out of trouble.
Oh, I see it all the time, Henry, and guys kick themselves saying, why wasn't I just a little busier when they see it on videotape? You've got to throw, Henry.
And Blea's not helping himself right now. He has got to go in there and impress upon the judges that he is the man.
Yeah, he's looking for a perfect knockout punch opening, and he's got to just work his way in and forget about that. Just stay busy and win this round.
And Blea's going to be more busy than that. But we don't know what's going on in his head right now, what kind of pain he's experiencing. But if you're going to be out there and a victory is within your grasp, go get it.
Oh, yeah, when you're in the ring, you can't see all this, Henry. It's easy to see from the outside, but you just can't. If only you could see from the outside, you know, from outside yourself. It looks real different to the guys in the ring there. Feels different, too.
And maybe Blea thinks he's ahead. Maybe he's in the prevent defense.
I think Paul's being a little busier than Jose this round. The time's running out.
Well, he is doing exactly what Ramirez needs. Here comes Blea, maybe too little, too late.
Big right hand knocked the mouthpiece out of the mouth of Jose Ramirez.
Well, that's it. It is over in Las Vegas. Blea feels he won the fight. We'll come back and we will find out together after these messages. Well, you can buy the curiosity by the bushelful here in Las Vegas tonight, especially with this fight. Who is the winner? You've got a card, Dan. Before we hear the official reading, who do you have as the winner?
I'll just tell you this, Henry. I have it by 1 point either way. I'm not going to tell you who I have winning this one, but I do have it by as a 1-point fight. The point deduction for the low blow, and then we also have the big ending for Paul Blea. Let's find out, Henry.
Let's go into the ring. Here is Pete Campos with the result.
Ladies and gentlemen, by a split decision, and the judges scored this way. Judge Martinez, 75 Blea, 77 Ramirez. Judge Chavez scores it 77 Blea, 75 Ramirez. Judge Uhlenbrock scores it 77 Blea, 74 Ramirez.
Well, there you go. Blea with the victory, and look at the face of Jose Ramirez. He can't believe it. He is quickly exiting the ring. He's in a state of shock, and Paul Blea is beside himself with elation.
Well, Henry, that's a hard-earned victory for Paul Blea. Moves his record to 5-0, still undefeated. And I had it by 1 point, and the judges were all had it close. So one of those fights.
Well, there you go.
At the concession stand.
Wow, that's all I could say. We'll be back with more Rising Stars Boxing after this.